here's my next question. There's been huge anger in the Pan Am Games because of the traffic and people still got to go to work. Between the condition of the Gardiner Expressway, Toronto's the largest city in Canada. It is a main nerve center of business. Head offices of many corporations of all of Canada are here, and the anger is incredible. Do you think that the city officials and they planned this well, or they're in over their heads?
I think they've done the best they could, Frank. The problem they've got is that they're telling everybody they've sold half the tickets. I don't know if they have or if they haven't. I know one.
I heard they did. I heard they did. I heard they sold half the tickets, and I heard that there's a lot of people who want to go. I mean, it's not close to the Olympics, but it's still I mean,
it's a bigger event. When I say
it's a bigger stage, I agree with you. It's a bigger stage technically.
And you know what they do, though, Frank, and you have to be careful of this. To all the federations that are in the Pan Am Games, they are sent an allotment of tickets. And they send them back right about now. The ones they don't sell, can't use. If that's what they've included in half sold, they got a problem. But the biggest problem is that there's no big increase in the business downtown, whether it be hotel, whether it be dinner reservations, whether it be house rentals. There is
Billy, I own a restaurant downtown. We have noticed a difference.
Well, you're talking positively.
Yes, we've noticed I think for hospitality, it's going to be amazing. I think we have one of the best transit systems in the world, second to none.
Well, I don't question that, but I think everything has been done that could be done to make Toronto a better city for the event. And I think the event will be measured partly on that, but it will be measured partly on what the receipts are that were brought in during that time. And I don't think people are trying to be critical. They're just the hotel.
Just reading social media, there's a lot of heat with people who are driving. And my suggestion is, if you work downtown, learn how to take transit.
Yeah, but, Frank, the problem is, in this city, it's very, very hard to move around a lot of these highways without the Pan Am Games. And now, with lanes just for them, and you have to have more than two people in a car to be able to use these lanes, and other lanes are going to be shut down. It is going to be a debacle during rush hour. I know people are saying go to work at off hours, but some people don't have that option. Some people have to go, and they're not able to use public transit because they aren't working downtown. They're working other areas where it's not accessible, and they're the ones that are going to now have hour-and-a-half commutes instead of 40-minute commutes. And a lot of companies, like my company that I work for, have already sent warnings to the employees and have already sent, this is how it's going to be. You can't drive at this. I mean, that is going to be a very big hassle for a lot of people who are just trying to get to work. Those are the ones that I do feel bad for.
Well, I'm telling you guys right now that it is what it is. I mean, Toronto is a first-class city. They've always run first-class events. And some of the great, Toronto Film Festival, the ICFF, a lot of the events that they do here are first class. Anytime you do any kind of event here, Eric, it's going to.
I love it. I love this city. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. But with security measures and streets being shut down because of that, it is going to create chaos with traffic. Just be prepared for that.
Yeah.
If anybody who thinks that there's going to be no traffic and no chaos, they're fucking naive.
Well, there's a ton of it. There'll be a ton of it.
Pardon me?
There'll be a ton of chaos and a ton of traffic jams.
But you know what, Frank and Eric, you have to build that into your mindset.
Right.
If you're going to live in Toronto, you've got to be prepared for major events like that. You can't be bitching and moaning all the time.
And we are the convention capital of the world. There's more conventions per capita in Toronto than any other place.
It's true.
Yeah. And that's what makes it what it is, I guess. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to Europe for the 2 weeks of the Pan Am Games. But at the same time, if I were there, the last thing I would do was make myself busy during the Pan Am Games. I get the hell out.
Well, what happens, though, if some people don't have that option?
True. Yeah, you don't know. Well, then you have to, and it's an ideal situation that doesn't work for everyone.
Right. There are going to be people that are negatively affected, adversely affected by this, and you know what? You're right, though. If you do live in Toronto, you do understand that is part of the city. It is the biggest city in Canada for these kind of things. I mean, I'm surprised that, to be honest with you, Toronto wasn't hosting some of these Women's World Cup games, but they weren't. This is, the 2 weeks. Just be prepared and understand that if you don't follow the rules, what I've been told is there's going to be pretty strict penalties as far as demerit points and tickets and all this if you're using the wrong lane. So you better understand.
You have to follow the rules. And they already showed that there's some individuals using the diamond lanes and they're by themselves, and having a dog in the front seat doesn't count.
Right. Right.
I'm just fucking putting that out there for you guys.